Today we are exploring the events industry and in particular, how can we make the most out of exhibiting and sponsoring conferences and events aligned with our business objectives. During my career, I've had the pleasure of exhibiting, sponsoring, developing, as well as selling conference and exhibition space. However, the industry is definitely changing, and in some areas events can be highly saturated, which can make it confusing to navigate what is going to be the best event to achieve those specific objectives. And on the other hand, post-COVID, we now have the virtual event space, which has really taken off. And there's a whole debate around whether there is enough value in face-to-face events to substantiate the amount of resource that you have to put in. Everything from planning the marketing literature to manning the stand, and then the event follow-up, which can also be a really important part of events. But for now, I'm going to share some top tips that are crucial to think about when planning event attendance. So tip one is thinking about the why. Why are we exhibiting this conference? Why are we looking to attend this particular event? And the reason isn't because you've attended it before and looking to continue that success. The reason isn't because your competitors are doing it and you feel like you need to be there to compete in that space. Your reasons aren't because you're a brand new business and you just need to find a way to get yourself out there. Those may influence your reasons to exhibit, but they're not your sole reasons. Your sole reasons are the goals that you want to achieve through a particular tactic, be this exhibitions and conferences. And that might be brand awareness, so you're looking to get your name out there. It might be sales or prospecting, so you're looking for specific leads from that conference or event. Or it could even be education. You're looking to share a message with an audience in a particular way. And another thing to think about is that, particularly if you've attended this event in the past, perhaps over several years, what have you got that's new? What is it, a new product or service offering? Are you launching a new strategy or campaign? Having something new can make a real difference, and it is definitely worth considering when looking to exhibit and sponsor. So we're certain that we want to exhibit at a conference or event, and the research begins, and suddenly you're comparing 5 to 10 conferences or events in your space that you'd love to attend, but trying to figure out which one is going to be the best and most efficient and most valuable for your organisation. One thing that people do get a little bit mixed up on is just jumping to the footfall of that particular event. You see big numbers in terms of the amount of people that are actually attending, and then when you get there on the day, you think, not as many people as I thought, or I'm not getting as many people by the stand as I thought. And this is why it's so important to drill down into the specific demographics and insights of those audiences attending the event, not just the footfall. Have a think around, are these the right job titles? Are they coming from the right companies and industries? Are they the people who are going to be making the decisions on the day? It's important to drill down in those details to understand the real value for attending that particular exhibition. Secondly, think about what stand locations are left, because there's nothing like attending an event that seems like it's got a really kind of good footfall, but you're tucked away in the corner, away from everyone else, or perhaps out of the context of the show. And this can happen, and it is frustrating when you're there. Just another point to add in there, to think about what wider marketing packages this particular events organiser offers. Have they got a relationship with a publication where they'll be doing product listings or service listings? Will they allow you to have your own company page on their website, or do they have a dedicated website for it? All of these things are important because it allows you to look at not just marketing on the day of the event, but how you're going to promote your attendance and your kind of exhibiting both on the day and beyond the exhibition as well. So all of those points are really important to look at. Okay, so my third tip, now that we've decided on the conference that we want to attend, is to always negotiate. If you don't ask, you don't get. And to be honest, I'll probably get in a bit of trouble with some events organisers to promote the idea of negotiation, because a lot do have their set rates, but what I've often found is that the closer you get to an event, because you are potentially losing some opportunity through the pre-marketing that you could have done for the conference, there is usually a little bit of wiggle room for negotiation. And that doesn't always mean cost either. Sometimes it will be throwing on additional opportunities, which might be, for example, to be featured in a magazine going out on the day, or perhaps being featured in an e-newsletter, or having one of your press releases promoted. But it really is, if you don't ask, you don't get. If you jump to sign a deal for a particular conference, you may be losing that negotiation value. All of my past events have been unsuccessful. This is a common thing I hear, mainly for people who believe that the event was the reason that they weren't successful. And sometimes it is the case. Sometimes we get rubbish events, but a lot of the time we have to think about, did you really put in the effort to make that event or that attendance a success? And this really boils down to pre-marketing, marketing during the conference, and post-event marketing. And starting with the pre, if you're attending an exhibition or conference, are you promoting that attendance? Are you speaking to your existing audience, letting them know that you're going to be there? Are you building up excitement for it if you are going to be launching a new product or service, or have a really exciting message that you want to share? Are you getting involved with the conference's own marketing support, be that a company page on their website, be that literature or e-banners or e-newsletters or whatever they may offer you? Think about all of these things before you actually attend the exhibition. Now we're getting to the day, and think about the stand as well. How are you going to look? How do you want to be seen? All of those key things are really important. But when you get to the exhibition, are you standing there on the stand expecting people to come to you? That is not the right way to attend events and to do your thing. Make sure that you are keeping people fully engaged on the stand to talk to people. Talk to people passing by. Make sure that you are inviting them in and not just waiting for them to come to you. And if you do have a speaker opportunity and you're presenting something to an audience at that event, record it. Use it in the future. Post some social media posts around it. Build up that excitement and get people coming to your stand. And then it goes to lead capture as well. How are you capturing people's information? Is it through a competition? Is it through an iPad collecting emails? All of these things must be considered, because you can't just expect people to come to you and drop off a business card. And quite often, people don't have business cards these days. I recently went to Crufts a couple of months ago, and I was really quite excited to see the amount of brands that were completely paperless and just using QR codes to sign up on things with no business cards, no literature, nothing. I found that really exciting. And then we moved to post-show as well. So we've come away from the conference. It's not all left at the conference. You have to follow on these potential prospects. You have to get in touch. Could be through a LinkedIn prospecting strategy. Could be through your regular e-newsletter if you've got their consent to send them data. It's all of these things we must consider, and we can't just blame it on the event organisers to create your success. Make sure that you're doing everything that you need to build that success and drive those business goals. So my final point really seems a simple one, and one that we should all know as kind of communication professionals, but it is making sure that you're measuring and evaluating your event success properly. And to do that, as mentioned, you do need things in place. If you were to go down the route of having a QR code to a particular website page or product, monitor the numbers of click-throughs through to that, monitor those exact conversions of people visiting your website and getting that information. In the same way, if you're doing kind of sales or looking to sell a particular service, measure that. Measure all of the leads that you made from the show, measure all of those follow-ups and the success from that. And it's quite important as well that sometimes people don't separate the success of the follow-up from the success of the event. And that might mean that you've actually done the event well, you've got all these contacts, but because your team haven't followed up in the right way or efficiently, then you might deem the event unsuccessful because your team haven't done that. And that's important to separate and think about as part of your process. But I think generally there's not one black or white answer to whether the event has been successful, because it could be made up by a lot of things, right? In terms of the connections you've made on the day, the conversations you've had that might influence something else other than one of your communications objectives. Whilst those comms objectives are key to measuring the success, make sure you think about the wider picture. Has this event been a success for me? Thank you very much for tuning into this video, which I hope you found useful and you can use some of these tactics in your event planning. If you are ever looking for support for managing your event strategy, researching particular events and understanding what you need to do to create impact, do get in touch, drop me a LinkedIn message. I'd love to have a conversation.